Talking to the men, trying to let the men know that we got to be able to be leaders in our houses, leaders in our communities, leaders in the church, leaders in our jobs, leaders everywhere. You are the voice of the house. You are the voice of your family. You know, when you die and leave this earth, you still is roaming this earth from your offspring. Your voice still carries. My dad's voice still carries through me. And his voice was so loud, it carries through me, through my children. A work ethic. Walking in Christ with God. And he's dead and gone, been dead since I was a sophomore in high school, but his legacy still runs on. Hey, what's going on, everybody? God bless you. May the Lord smile on you. I'm going to get it together. Always. I'm going to figure it out. Listen, I'm here tonight. Just want to tell everybody what's up. Men's Monday again. Boom. Put that shirt up. Men's Monday. Men's Monday. We thank God for what y'all doing, what y'all been participating and coming forth and different things of that nature. Thank you for coming. Pastor, man, we had a packed house on Sunday, man. Praise the Lord. We had a packed house. We had a packed house on Sunday. A lot of people was there. The children's church had kids there. Only had a couple of seats left in the church. Praise the Lord for that, man. Listen, God is growing and moving and doing what he has to do. He's doing what he always doing. He's doing a blessed thing. He's working this situation now. But I'm just going to flow tonight. I'm going to flow. We're going to be jumping from thing to thing because men, this is what, I heard my pastor tell me this a long time ago. My pastor came forth to me a long time ago. I want to kind of touch on this and we're going to see if it's, anything in the Bible. Well, we know it's in the Bible that we can find to kind of help us with it. But listen, I had to hear something from my pastor, and it was pretty deep. Hey, what's going on, Kinfolk? I had to hear something from my pastor, and it was deep to me, but a lot of people don't, they probably don't even recognize it, because that's an issue with us right now, being men. What's up, Kinfolk? Being men in our lives. A lot of times, my pastor, great as he is, I saw him go forth, the anointing in his life and different things of that nature. And one thing he said to me, because he was under a certain bishop, and, praise the Lord for that bishop, that had nothing bad to say about him. A lot of times you look at your pastor and say, hey, man, you're doing it, this and that. And he said he had to become a son before he became a father. He had to become a son before he became a father. So tonight I want to talk to us men. It's Men's Monday. I want to talk to us tonight about becoming a son first before. Hey, baby girl, before you are becoming a father. I believe that's a lot of issues in our life as men that we have never in our life became an actual son. And that what affects our life and affects us in life, and it affects our own children, our wives. It affects a lot of things in our life. This Men Monday, we talk about men. We're going to get on the men. We're going to do what we have to do. But one thing he said to me, and it was beautiful. He said, son, I had to learn how to be a son before I became a father. Now listen, he had brothers and he had a father. He was born and different things of that nature. But listen, a lot of times in our life, men, we have never, ever uh, became that son in the family, learned how to be humble, learned how to be obedient, learn how to be scolded, learn how to follow order, to where now we become men and become fathers, but we never really learned that as a child. Wow. Boy, that's cold. Boy, that's cold. I think about Lot when Lot dads died and and uh and Abraham took over for his brother. Lot was not a bad dude, but it was just that I felt like Lot probably should have told Abraham, listen, I'm going to tell my people to chill out because, you know, they people got into it. I'm going to tell my people to chill out because I just really want to be with you. But they had to split up, which is a good thing, but they had to split up. But becoming a son, learning how to be a son in this day and era is very hard for the young men. It's very hard because why? A lot of us never had fathers. A lot of us never got taught the right thing. But then what happens is a lot of us do have fathers in our lives, but our father never learned how to become a son. So what happens is when he have a son, he think the way you're supposed to be is just out of his mind, but he never really truly learned how to really be a son. And what happens in that case, he make up a situation how he wants you to be. He make up a situation how he constructs you and wants you to act and want you to do certain things, but forget about all the guides and the rules and different things of being a son. We got to go back because what happens is a lot of times we don't want to go back to being a son because we got bad memories. Wow. We have bad memories of what happened to us, how your life was, how you went through certain things. You really didn't want to become a real son because you felt like your life was horrible, men. See, that's one of the problems with us men. The main problem with us is we never was a true son. So how could we teach our sons to be sons? We never was a true son in the household to our mother, to our father. So how can we teach our children to be that? To become a good father, you must learn how to be a son, really, before you become a father. So what do they say? We have babies making babies. And that's what's bringing our men into prison. That's what's bringing our men to not doing the right things that they're supposed to do. What's up, Chris? How you doing, Ms. Robertson? They're bringing the men not into a place to where they're supposed to be because why? Because we didn't get a chance to learn how to become a son. What up now? Not becoming a man as a child. But a lot of times we were nigged on being a son. We got a lot of young men being disrespectful and not listening to their parents. And what happened is they never really learned to become a son. And why they never learned to become a son, they jumped on this pedestal about being a man and really don't even know how to be that man because they never really learned the aspects of being a son. A son is very important. See, we have to go back as men. We have to go back, and a lot of times as a man, we don't want to suck to authority. We don't want to listen to nobody. We don't want to listen to somebody that can take us to that place. We don't want to listen to somebody that's over us. That's why a lot of times men can't really have. A lot of men don't even have good jobs because why? Because they don't want their supervisor telling them what to do. That's the number one rule of becoming a good son. Is taking orders. Being humble enough to be a man and know you're a grown man and to be told something and do it. It doesn't mean that you're less than a man. It doesn't mean that you're not who you are. It means that you know how to follow suit. Becoming a good man and a great man, you have to go back and learn how to become to be a son. We're gonna get into it today, man. We're gonna talk about it. Might need some scriptures, we might not. I need some questions and answers from you guys. But listen, I need you to understand on Men's Monday tonight, we as men have never got to the point to where we should be because we have never wanted to go back and to become a son. What's on? What's going on, girl? Miss Allen, I think that's Laquita too. Listen, we have allowed our children to be raised by single mothers. Because why? Because we never learned how to be a son. So sometimes women, that's why that man runs from his responsibility because he don't even know how to raise him. Because he never caught it about being a son. But sometimes the trauma from a man's life, how bad they had it, this is no excuse for them, how bad they had it in their childhood, they run from their child because they knew that they had a bad child and they didn't even understand why. How do you think a man makes a child and never speak to him? I mean, I'm talking about never have nothing to do with him. It's a trauma there. It's a situation. Because what happened is they never learned how to become to be a son. They never learned how to be a child. They never learned how all they knew was to be here, eat, sleep, go to school, doing this, but they never paid attention to mom and daddy. They never really caught it because they wanted to do their own thing. They never knew what they wanted in life. They never knew that being a good son would take you places. Being a good son will set you up in this life. Now listen, we've had successful men that became billionaires, millionaires. We've had successful men that became everything in life, but they still don't know how to be a good son. Women, how to be a good daughter. See, God has an order. And the thing about the order with God means this. Listen, if you don't follow the order, God ain't going to make you do it. He's not going to beat you up. He's going to chomp you and tell you, yeah, you're going to do that. He's going to let you do what you want to do because it's a free will. But that's one of the main things that I've learned about being a man with my kids. Learning. Because, listen, I had to go back in life as a grown man. Do you remember what Nicodemus said to Jesus? How can you be born again? Go back to your mother's womb and then come out. No, it's not that way. Being born again, a new creature, being saved. But this is what you're going to have to do as a man. You're going to have to search yourself and say, listen, did I ever learn how to become a good son? Did I ever learn how to become a son? The prodigal son, what happened with him? He said, listen, Dad, I need my stuff and I'm finna go. He said, I need everything that you got and I need to get up out of here. I need to go because he said, I need this money from you. I got to get my money and I'm going to leave. And I got to go do whatever I wanted to do because he didn't know how to be a son. Everybody looks at the prodigal son. I get it. Everybody looks at him and say, he was crazy. Why did he do his daddy like that? But let's go back to the dad. Let's go back to the daddy. I don't care how much money you had. I don't care how much you had for him and gave it to him. Did you teach him how to be a son? Or did you even know how to be a son? See, everything is going to fall on the man anyway. That's why you got a lot of men running from responsibility because he knows that he's liable. He knows that at the end of the day, this is on him. So that's why you have a lot of them cow out and run. I'm sorry, that's what it is. Cow out and run. How could you ask yourself this? How could you have a child? Never speak to him. Don't know anything about him. Never see him. It's because they never learned how to be a son. That's the issue tonight. Prodigal son told his father, he said, listen, I need my stuff. He said, oh, this is mine? Okay, let me get that. I'm going to go out here and do whatever I want to do. I'm going to, the other brother, he stayed. The daddy said, listen, okay, I'm going to give you this. But understand, people looks at the father and say, hey, man, he didn't do nothing. He gave it to him. But was he teaching him how to be a son? Because a son follows order. A son follows protocol. A son follows what he's told. A son knows that he cannot lead until it's his time to lead. Oh my God. That's the revelation of being a son. The son knows that one day it will be his time to go off and lead. But if now I have to follow rules, I have to follow order, I have to follow things that I don't want to do, but I have to do it because I'm a son. So what happened is we have a lot of fatherless men out here. Even though if the daddy was home, we have a lot of fatherless men because they was never taught how to be a son. What is a son? What is a son? What is a son? It's a child that has a parent, both mother and father, and they obey the rules and listen to what their mother and father say, even when they don't want to. When they feel that they're grown enough. And see, this is the issue about becoming a son. When you feel that you're grown enough and you can make your own rules and you want to do it. Come on, somebody. Being a good man, you have to learn, come on, somebody, how to be this son. You got to do it. It's woman, you have to learn how to be a good daughter. Because if you don't know how to be a daughter, how could you be a mother? See, this is what's up, E. This is what we're talking about tonight. Sons. In order for me to be a good leader, a good man, I got to go back. I got to dig back deep into me. Hey, how you doing? Yes, sir, Mr. Bill, what got you? They say they're getting hitting hard. Y'all better, if y'all outside, come on inside. That weather coming. Keep us updated on the weather, Mr. Bill. But this is what I need you to understand tonight. A lot of us grown men got to go all the way back. We have to go back and become a son again. we have to go back. We have to go back and become a son. And sometimes you have to be up under somebody that's probably not even your father, because sometimes our fathers are gone. Or sometimes our fathers are just not, listen to me, I love dads, and sometimes they're just not fit to show us the way how to be a good leader. This is what we have missed in our life as men. It's not even learning how to become a man, it's learning how to become a son. Because a man, you run things. A man has responsibilities and do what he do, but a son obeys. A son follows suit. A son walks in the shadow of his father. A son do what he needs to do and have to do to wait till his position comes. But a lot of us went out and did what we did and never learned how to be a son. And so how did that put that on our families? Come on, y'all. How did that represent by me not being a good son and knowing how to be a son? How did that transpire me being a daddy? That's deep. How could that, what's up now, E? How could that make me be a good father if I never learned how to be a good son? If I never learned how to be a son, period. But what happens is, well, we're going to go back to this. This is something me and my wife talked about, me and E talked about. The thing of it is, it's a spirit in the land that wants the father and son to never to get along. I've been hearing it too much. Different people coming to me. Different things are coming. See it in my life. See what's going on in my home. See what's going on with my children. What is happening with the sons? And the daughters too now. Have I been that person to not teach my son how to be a son? Uh-oh. Why? Because what happened, my father passed when I was a sophomore in high school. But my pastor told me, when I looked at him and I said, man, why you don't got this? Why you don't got your own deal, for church to be under you? He said, son, I had to learn how to be a son before I become a father. Man, that's deep. And that took me somewhere. So we have a bunch of non-son fathers. We have a bunch of non-learning sons becoming fathers. And that's okay. Been there, done it. I'm one. A son is a person who listens, who can take orders, who can receive rebuke. What's up there, Cotton? Who can receive rebuke, who can receive being doing things that you don't want to do, but you're doing it out of obedience. A son is a person that's going to do what needs to be done when they're asked. Come on. Even if it humiliates you, you trust your father enough. Oh, that's it right there. You trust your father enough to be a son. But what happens is, as a grown person and as a young man, we never trusted our fathers. We loved them, but we never trusted our fathers to become that father that we wanted to be. Because we never became the son that we should have been. Listen, I'm not saying that you're a bad person, because we didn't learn how to really be a son. We didn't, because a son will teach his son how to become a son. Not a man yet. How to become a son. And it'll take you into where you need to be. Because becoming a father is responsibility. That is why we have a lot of young men and a lot of fathers that have never met their children, that have never been around their child, because they never learned how to be a true son. They never learned how to be a true son. What's going on, Kim? Yeah. This is what I'm talking about. Men, it's a lot of young men out here that's not going to be your son. But you're going to have to teach them how to become a son so they can be better men. We have men that walked out of their lives. We have men that walked away from their children. We have men that never claimed their children. Why? Because they never learned how to be a son in the get-go. Because some of them have trauma, to where when they was a child, it was a bad childhood. So they didn't even know and learn how to be a son. Because when you become a son, the promotion comes for you to be a father. See, a lot of men don't want to hear this. They want to just hear some type of word. But I got to talk to you men tonight. A son is observant. I watch my dad. I say, okay, look, he pay bills. He do this. He do that. But don't you know you can have a man that can pay his bills, that can take care of himself, that can have a big house, a big car, and never learned how to be a true son. Come on. All of this other stuff is different. I get it. You're taking care of household. You're taking care of your wife. You're taking care of your children. But did you learn how to be a true son? Because the only way is to teach your children correctly is for you to be that true son. I mean, it's just what it is. You have to learn how to humble yourself. A lot of us as men got to learn how to go back and humble themselves and find someone for a father. Come on. Find someone as a father and learn how to take this. See, most of us cannot take authority over us. We can't do it as men. I'm a grown man. I could do what I want. That's the first sign of not becoming a true son. What do I need to be a son for? I'm a grown man. I got children. But what are you teaching your son? What are you teaching your daughter? become a true leader, you have to become a son again. What's up, Carl? Pastor Brown taught us that. Becoming a good father, I have to learn sonship. That's in the spirit and that's in the natural. I have to be able to learn sonship. If I don't learn sonship, it's going to be a problem. Because being a man, I have to go back to my sonship. And that's going to teach me. That's going to guide me. That's going to lead me. Because it's times in my life to where when I was being a son and doing what I had to do, it's going to take me back to go to my children and teach them the right way. Prodigal son said, Daddy, I need my stuff. I got to go. I'm going to go on my own. Everybody was mad at the prodigal son. Everybody was mad at, man, look at him. He learned his lesson. But was his daddy ever a true son? Oh, man. See, we got to understand, even though it ain't fair, even though our children do what they do, this stuff always come back to us. It do. I'm not beating you up as a man. I'm not saying this, but we have to learn sometimes. Listen, I got to find me somebody. I got to find me, not a homeboy, but I got to find me somebody to become a true son, to help me through this thing called life, to help me when I thought I knew everything. I got to become a true son. I got to know sonship. Hey, Bishop, we have to become true sons to be true leaders and true men. Now ask yourself, man, are you a true son? Is you true? Is you a true son? Or did you as a child grow up and say, hold up, I want to be what I want to do. Hey, I want to do my thing. I want to pull up a prodigal son. You see the word was a prodigal son. It didn't say good son. It's a prodigal son. It's all about sonship. As a grown man, I have to learn that someone has to be my father. Someone has to be a father figure. Somebody has to be a father over me for me to learn and get what I have to get. Because what happens is, as a leader, as a pastor, or just a regular father, what can you do? What are we raising? What are we, come on, man, what are we really raising? Are we raising what we think, what we supposed to be? See, God will humble you. He will take you and you will be under somebody. And I'm a grown man, I don't need to, but you have to. The first step is going here, is going there, going low. Sonship is a powerful thing. It's going to take a lot out of you because it's going to test your manhood. It's going to serve leadership. Come on. It's going to take a lot out of you because we must learn sonship to teach our sons. Because if you was never a good son, we must find someone to be a son to. Come on, somebody. That's deep. When my pastor told me that years ago, he said, son, I have to be a son to become a father. Well, pastor, you got kids. But being a son is humbling yourself and having another man tell you certain things that you might don't want to do, but it's best for you. Because you could do it this way. You could do it that way. But in life, we've learned how to become this so-called man that life have taught us to be. Work, protect, cover, and that's it. But have your sons ever saw you in a vulnerable place? Have your sons ever saw you in a place where you had to humble yourself? Have you ever been to a place where your son had to see you get humbled? We understand you want to be known as Superman, but sons need to know that you're transparent. Son, I ain't got to do that. Well, daddy, you my daddy. Well, I got a father too, son. I have to learn protocol in this thing called life. I got to learn this. I got to learn this. Yes, I'm a man. But I also got to have a father. Now, this is probably going to hurt all fathers that we have sometime, and blood fathers. Listen to me. Blood fathers are not the ones that you're supposed to be with. That's your daddy. You're going to respect your daddy and do that, but you got to go to someone whose mind that understands this. Listen, if you got a daddy, listen, be there for your daddy. I'm not telling you to throw him in the trash. That's your daddy. Respect your daddy. But sometimes, as a sonship, you got to find some more responsibility. Oh, this deep, man. Because what happens in sonship, you're going to be checked. You're going to be challenged. You're going to be dealt with as a son, but you're a grown man. Sometimes you might have more money and more things going to a father, but that he can still tell you what to do. Come on, somebody. You might be more well off. You might have more. You might be at the top of the line and he might be right here, but you got to still come down and listen to fatherhood. See, being a man ain't being macho and being the biggest thing around. And just because you're doing this, because see, we can take care of our family. Been there, money. Me and my partner were talking about today. You can take care of your family, money, and provision for them and different things of that nature. But this is what you got to understand. They need to see the transparency in you, daddy. Because becoming a leader don't mean you're rich. See, some of us want to be leaders because we want to be rich. Becoming a leader doesn't mean you got the fancy cars and everything is there. All that is just a prize and a bonus. That's just a bonus. My daddy, man, let me tell you something about him. We never had everything we wanted. Couldn't afford all of this stuff. I would see him catch the city bus to work. End up eventually getting the car, end up eventually buying us a house. My father was never the richest man. My father, he wasn't the fancy type with all the cars. But what my father did, he showed me humility. Never looked at my father as weak, because I know what he was capable of. But one thing you got to understand as a father, because he never was really raised with his dad. He had a dad. He took me to see his dad. His dad passed. And he never really was raised, because what happened is my daddy ended up going to prison early on, did a lot of time, had a life sentence, came home. But this is what my father had to do. He had to humble himself under a pastor. And I saw that. Never thought my daddy wasn't a man. But I saw how he was faithful, going to church, going to work, going to church. Now, in some of that, we didn't get it all together because, sometimes as a father, we be so caught up in the church that we leave our children kind of out there. And it wasn't bad that he hurt me, but it was things that I had to deal with in a lifetime. No football games, stuff like that I had to deal with, and I had to deal with it here. See, it's so much being a father, man. It's so much being a leader. It's so much being running a family. It is a lot. We think that this is easy, but a lot of us have never done what we should have done, and it was simply humbling ourselves. We don't humble ourselves as men. So what happens is the spirit of pride jumps on our children. And when this is the deal that you have to understand by being a leader, by being a man in a home, you can open the door or you can close the door. You can open the door for anything to come in, and you can close the door for anything to come in. By me learning now, because I have a father, Apostle Abram Brown, I have to go back and the things that I didn't learn from being a son. No shade on my daddy. He did everything he knew how to do. I obeyed him. I did everything. But now I'm learning how to be a son all over again. You know what happens? Now I catch my kids in vulnerable positions and help them. I show them how. Say, man, it's okay. Because most men was taught never to cry. Don't you do that. Don't you do that. Crying is not for you. Don't you do that. Don't you show nobody your feelings. Don't you. I had to learn that getting a good cry was good. Because a lot of time as a father and as a leader, it's a lot of stress. A mother's too. It's a lot of stress because men mostly keep everything in. Even when we feel like the house or something is about to crash, we look at the family and say, it's all good, we got it. Oh yeah, don't worry about it. And be trembling in the inside. Trembling. That's being a man. But I need you to go back to being that son. I need you to go back being that daughter. Thank you, B. Thank you, Carl. I need you to go back. I need you to go back for that childhood. I need you to go all the way back. I need you to do this tonight. And I'm not saying that you was a bad kid, not saying that you made mistakes, but I need you to go back. Why? Because I need you to take yourself back there. I need you to go back to that vulnerable place in your life. And listen, you're a good daddy. You're a good mother. But I need you to go back because there's some things that we left. There's some things that we forgot. We forgot a bunch of things, man. And what happens is the things that we forgot, the things that we didn't pick up, man, that offspring comes now. And they pick up habits. They pick up habits that we didn't know. It wasn't our fault, but we didn't understand. And now they pick those habits up, and now it becomes a normal thing in their life. Mothers and fathers, let me ask you a question. Do you think, by any chance, the way your son, your daughter have done, did it come from you? That's a hurting situation. I had to learn that. Did it come from you? We look at our children. We look at our daughters and sons. We look at them and we ask ourselves, and we talk to God, and we talk to different members of the family. We do all of this stuff, and we ask ourselves, what happened to them? Sometimes we need to look in the mirror and say, listen, it was you, but I got something for you. We can handle this situation together. I'm not going to blame you for your children's mess up. I can't blame you for that. I can't do that. But one thing as a leader and as a father, see, a leader, a father, this is what he does. He provides, he protects, but he also, this is the most important thing, This is the most important thing that a father does. What's the word that I'm trying to say? Come on, I'm trying to think on my mindset. This is what he does. He looks, I'm going to get the word in just a minute. He looks and he watches everything from top to bottom. It's a job. But that's it. You evaluate your house. You evaluate your children. Because like we talked about, me and Carl talked about this earlier, we talked about it last week, about how Adam and his sons, how he killed his brother. Was you evaluating? Was you evaluating what's going on in your household? Was you evaluating when they was learning from hip hop? Come on, been there, done it. I had to learn to not allow hip hop to raise my children. I had to learn not to allow Young Boy and all these other guys to raise my sons. I had to learn that. I had to learn what up, Chris? I had to learn I could not allow this hip hop, this music, or these women raise my children on TV. I had to learn that. But see, what happens as a father, so when we go back and learn about being a son, we remember the things that we watched and didn't let mama them know. We remember the habits that we picked up. So when you are going through your house, observe. And I get it. You work hard. You protect. You serve. You do all of this stuff. But as a man and as a leader, I have to go back to sonship. I have to learn to be a good son before I'm a good leader. And man, I need you to understand this. God has your back in this. God will take you. And he will hold you as you cry, because it'll make you cry. You will cry. You will weep, because you will understand the importance of sonship. Because the sonship will make you a great man. It will take you places to where you never knew. It will take you to vulnerable places that you need to learn how to overcome. I had to learn to call a man my dad. That's not my dad. But now he's my dad. I had to listen to him, even though when I said, okay, Pastor, I'll probably do it this. And he said it certain ways. No, that's what needs to happen, son. And I had to learn. Wow. You're right. Because God is testing you to see if you can obey from leadership. And I'm almost done. I want to say this to you tonight. I want to say this to you. You have to know in your heart that you're a man. Just like a leader learn how to follow. Amen. Because this is what we need to know. It's not hard for me to go out here and go to work and protect my family. That's not hard. It's really not. It's not hard for me to go out here, protect, work, make sure everybody's good. It's not hard. But the challenge is observing and being a leader and a good steward over your children and your wife. Because what happens is, as a man, we think our job is over once we've done those things. But that's why the Bible says, husbands, it said, love your wife as Christ loved the church, that he died for it. This is family. And if you're going to be a leader on a job or anything else, you must learn how to be submissive under a leader. That's about it, what I got for today. Because I need you to marinate on that. I need you to think about this. I need you to really really talk to yourself and go back and say, was I that son, God? But see, this generation has a no tolerance for men. And that's what that's what the enemy have planted from the get-go. It has no tolerance for a man. And that's the issue in life. Men has always got this point to where the authority thing is an issue. Because men, you're supposed to be leaders. You're supposed to be over the household. But I want to touch back on this father and son. I don't know what we're going to do about this, because the father and son relationships in 90% of America is somewhat strong. I never reached that with my dad. Every man needs to hear this message. Keep sharing. Thank you, Pastor. Thank you, Bishop. But I had to learn this. If my daddy would have still been living right after I kind of flipped, I don't know what would have happened. Would have bumped heads, would have did what we had to do, because the man grows up and wants the authority, right? So I don't understand the situation when it comes to these young men. And the enemy has planted this demon on earth for young men to never to get along with their fathers. That's why we got to go back to sonship dads. Because the enemy have came in and he wants to mess up a relationship. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to say this because it irks me. It does. And I know it's cool and whatever. But when these sons start saying, Pops, no, I'm daddy. I'm your father. Because see, that's how the disrespect begins. See, we don't look at those little things. What's up, Pops? No, I'm daddy. I'm your father. Because what happens is just those little disrespectful little things that they don't realize it is disrespectful is planting a seed to break it up. It's to break it up. I don't care what nobody say, all this pop stuff. Listen, that is something that the enemy have brought in. You can say what you want. He can keep calling you that if you want to. I got my oldest on it. Pops, no, bro. No. Because what's happening is that's a wedge that's trying to come against the man and the son. That's a wedge that's trying to come against the father and the son. Because what happens is it's disrespect. And now watch this, and I'm about to close. The Bible says, children, obey your mother and father, say you shall live long life. The enemy has it where I gotta distinct the man. Listen to this revelation. I gotta be able to distinct the man on earth, because I know that I'm gonna bump heads with father and son, so he's not gonna obey. So the Bible said, now the devil gonna use that Bible because the devil will come to God and say, you said this, now you said this. So now what happens is he comes in with the son to disrespect daddy, to bump heads with daddy. And so when he do, the devil brings the word to God. Listen, you said that his life ain't gonna be long. Why do you think these young men is dying? Why do you think these young men is dying senseless deaths? Why do you think they're leaving this earth so fast? Because the enemy is using the word to twist and go back to God and say, listen, God, now you said this in your word, a disobedient child shall not live his days. Because what he's trying to do, he's trying to make the man obsolete. He's trying to make the man distinct. He's trying to make no male figure, because he know if it's no male figure, it's no covering. There's no covering in this earth. There's no covering will be around, and he will come in and he will attack it and try to destroy everything that he can do. You see the revelation on that? Young men, no respect for their fathers. They'll give their mama no respect. They will. But the rappers, every rap you hear is, my daddy wasn't there. This is this. I was looking at a YouTube, I think it was YouTube the other day, and they were showing Tupac father. They were showing his daddy. And they said, how do you feel about the song Dear Mother? He said, it hurted me at first. Because on one of the lyrics, he said, I have no love because the coward wasn't there. He said he passed away, and he said, I didn't cry. But his daddy is living. What happens is the lie of the enemy will make your father obsolete in your life. This spirit is running rampant, is trying to make, and we do got some good relationship with men and their fathers, but this spirit is running so rampant in this earth. Even some of the daughters, they don't respect their dads. This spirit, it's running so rampant in this earth because it wants to make the father obsolete. It don't want the father to be no name, whole figure. That's why we got to go back to sonship. That's why we got to go back and catch this and learn what we need to learn so we can teach our son to respect and be vulnerable and know what it's like to be a son. Because every father should be a hero. But what happens is, young men, the spirit of the enemy would have hatred toward their father. You're going to do a poll right now and ask children how they feel about their daddy. I see it everywhere. I saw it on Mayweather. He had an interview. Floyd Mayweather. They made millions of dollars. Him and his dad are millionaires. They made millions of dollars. His daddy taught him how to box and brought millions of dollars from a sport that he taught his son. But this is what he said in the interview. He said, I'll die for my mama. He said, I'll fight with my daddy, but I'll die for my mama. What happens is, now this man have taught you the whole game of boxing, and you became one of the greatest to ever do it, if not the greatest. And yeah, you said, okay, Dad, but if you ever watch them, you can see the relationship between them. They made millions of dollars, but you can see the relationship is some dysfunction in there. Why? Because the enemy want to put a wedge in fathers and sons. That's why we have to go back and learn sonship, guys. We have to. We have to go back. We have to go back and learn sonship to be good fathers. Because our sons is watching us. They're looking. And if the enemy get any type of wedge, he will make your son have odds with you. It's a spirit. I saw it. God has shown me. And he's trying to keep it from fathers and sons. Because if he can destroy the father and son, he won. Because the father would never be able to teach him anything because the son won't listen. And if the son is not listening and disrespecting his father, his days won't be long on this earth. It's all a trap for the men. That's why we do Men's Monday. That's why we come in here and try to teach them, learn, and how we need to be better men. Because listen, we have to search ourselves, brothers. It's not about just the job. It's not about just the protection. It's about the vulnerability in you. It's about you getting real with your son, with your daughter. It's about you telling them everything. That's why I say, I look at Adam and say, Adam, I don't know where you was at when your son killed him. I don't know. But could you have stopped that? The prodigal son, Daddy, what was you at? What was you at? Did you really teach him, or you just pacified him, and that's why he took the money to leave? Man, God bless you, man. Oh, that's tough. Let's go back and learn how to be sons. God got our backs. In order for you to be a good leader, a good father, you must have to learn how to be a good son. God bless you. May the Lord smile on you. Listen, we have, this is coming forth, I believe. This is coming forth. Pastor Karen is getting some things together. And we're going to have, we're going to go over this book. It's going to be, I forget what night, but she's going to, trust me, she's going to announce it. We're going to be going over this book. We're going to be reading it, going chapter to chapter, and we're going to be learning some things. So listen, I need you to order this book on Amazon. That way we're going to go forth in it. God is going to bless us and see us through this. And also, listen, we have our singles ministry. They are on the move. Thank God for the singles ministry. What they're doing right now, they're going to go. They want to get a lot of comments and questions. You can send them to our boxes, inboxes. You can send them to us because we want to have a panel one night on singles. And then we're going to do that, and then we're going to probably end up with probably a small mixer or get together. And because we want the people know that you can live saved, single and saved. You can be single and saved. So listen, be prepared for that. Listen, the youth ministry is, the children's church ministry is on the move. Listen, we are doing crafts, arts and crafts. But listen, y'all pray for us because we had a blessed time Sunday. It was a couple of seats left. Listen, God is blessing us. The children was in the back. They're doing crafts. They're learning. The children are doing the fruits of the Spirit for this whole month. We're teaching them one fruit every week, and God is really blessing us. And listen, thank God for your prayers, for your support. God is growing us every Sunday, and God is doing something. But listen, one thing I had to understand and know, I'm still Apostle Urban Brown's son. No matter what happens, no matter where God takes us, no matter what happened with One Kingdom, I'm a son first and a pastor second. Because I have to learn sonship. I'm staying under the umbrella of my Father. Hallelujah. And men, I need you to understand and know that. God bless you. May the Lord smile on you. We'll see you next week. Actually, we will see you this Thursday at Bible study and then Sunday. But listen, I want to invite you to come on out to 1110 West Harris Road, Suite 106 in Arlington, Texas. Man, God is doing a thing. He's giving us word after word. His Spirit is coming into place. He is doing what he has to do. Listen, I personally invite you because this is what going to take you to that next level that you need in him. It's a next level ministry for a next level season. And I need you to come out, listen, and prepare yourselves. Listen, sometimes you might get hurt. Sometimes you might be upset. But God knows what he's doing. God bless you. Peace.